Okay. Quick save. Do have a few ship combats every time we visit a solar system here. But I feel like we're prepared for anything at this point. Just gonna quickly take a glance at. We only have Ulfar's quest and the main story quest. So. Lord Captain, unidentified sickle-shaped ships have taken off from the planet we just left. They're approaching swiftly and readying their weapons for battle. Get ready. It's about to get hot in here. I am ready.
Good fight ahead.
Okay, they're all in front of us. I don't know if approaching them to use this would be wise. I don't want to be exposed, but I'd like to use everything at my disposal to finish them, or one of them, off. Starting with this one. Let's see which side we can scan. Hopefully it's the front. Good. They do have the same mechanic as the units we just fought, or the mobs, where when they die, you have to kill them again. Let's go with this then. As you can see, they go again. I don't want to flip it just yet. Well, maybe we could teleport in. Okay.
Leave their hull strewn across the stars. Fire right now.
Whichever side I cover, we're gonna take some damage. So I'm gonna start with the left side, in case he also attacks from that direction. But most likely he will hit the front. Let's do this and flip him. Okay. Do we want to strafe? No, we don't. We'll just end our turn. No damage. They're mostly here for distraction anyway.
Time to unleash a counterattack.
Okay. Interesting. I expected them to attack.
Let the macro cannons sing their deadly litany.
Alright. Alright. If we could somehow get a decent angle. Okay.
We have a destination to reach. Deliver their demise.
Could use this again. I don't want it to explode next to us. It might do some damage. So we at least strafe this side. Nice. Alright. Then we could make our way to the other ship. Protect the front, but I think we're safe.
Bring doom to our enemies. Deliver their demise.
Alright.
Unleash our vengeful salvo.
Oh. Like this? No?
Lay in the course.
Okay.
I want to hear the macro cannons roar.
We are just destroying them right now. Oh, I should have used this. What about if we teleport in? Alright, easy.
I'll mention this triumph in my memoirs.
Huh. We also leveled, which is great. Lord Captain, what were those things? They took off from the surface of the world where you landed. I have never seen ships like that. Never seen such technologies either. We fished a trophy out of the void, a relatively intact fragment of a wreck, and set into our engine sears. And, just in case, we've isolated the compartment where they are performing their comprehension liturgies. Research the tomes in the Rogue Trader's private library. Perhaps it'll give us insight into these monsters. Okay. Hours-long silence follows as your orders are being executed. At last, the Vox comes to life again. Your Lordship, the Carto Artifex claims to have found a mention of Xenos similar to the ones we've encountered. The manuscript refers to them as Necrons. Okay. The ancient seers are at a loss. They say it's a gift born from the Messiah's wisdom, but its image was imperfect, and therefore it was eroded by corruption and unbelief. Whatever that means, the ship's minor conclave has gone into data meditation to produce a resolution regarding the admissibility of using this item. Okay. Bolster the crew's morale, give them additional rations to those who showed valor in battle. This is just the beginning. As you will. Okay. So that covers this solar system. And as you can see, we are at the top left corner of the map. We can still see the rest of the game, some locations, but we can't travel to them. This area is isolated. But if we do this, we could find extra stuff. I believe this is where we finish the game, and these are kind of optional. I'd like to do them regardless, for the sake of continuity and completion, you know? So let's do that. We have the spare points. I'm just gonna make it safe from now and visit. Not that I'm scared of ambushes or anything, I just don't want to waste time on them. At this point I feel like the XP is redundant. They also give you a lot of stuff to mine here, but you can't use it, pretty much. Unless you have some contracts to fulfill. I've skipped the majority of them, to be honest. Because you lose people and profit factors. The only reason why you'd want to go for them now is if you're really missing some essential stuff for dynasty projects. Or you're chasing after the 20 contracts achievement. I've already done that on a different playthrough, so I could just safely skip these. You don't really get anything out of it. Okay. These planets are mostly empty, but the XP is nice. Most of the surface is covered in icy dunes with greenish highlights. At first, officers aboard the vessel decide that the unusual color of the ice is due to a quirk of the atmosphere. Later, it becomes evident that the source of the highlights is a group of monstrous pyramidal structures, wreathed in an emerald fire. Examining them in detail with a magnoculars. Man, these words are getting rougher. It can be seen that one of the monoliths is damaged. A device on its wall emits an energy beam at a similar pyramid not far from itself. Okay, examine the structures. The Von Valencia scouts approach the monoliths with as much care as possible. Fearing the appearance of an enemy, a small servitor sent to gather data about the energy beam clearly demonstrated the destructive power of this Xeno technology. After carelessly making contact with the beam, it instantaneously broke apart into minuscule pieces. It is curious that the second pyramid is still intact, and that only matter at the source of the beam is being destroyed. Could study the surviving monolith. The energy beam barely reflects off the dark metal of the pyramid. Occasionally, a scarcely visible wave runs across the surface of the monolith's walls, after which the material appears to become even smoother. It's as if one monolith is feeding the other, not destroying it. A few scouts decide to come closer in order to better examine the phenomenon. The soldiers of Von Valencius notice a fragment of a metallic ribcage melted right into the material of one of the walls like a bizarre bas-relief. Between the rows of ribs, a talisman of black stone shimmers with colored light. After each wave of energy, the figure to which the talisman belonged to shows no signs of life. After a quick debate, the officers decide to take the artifact on board. The wearer's strength, toughness, and agility are decreased. The wearer can use heroic acts at 125 instead of 175, and desperate measures at plus 50 momentum higher. The wearer is considered as having heretical adherent if they do not yet have it. Neat, but I don't think I need it. Okay. We could scan this also. Alright. We have a Necron ring. The greenish glow of the gigantic ring, made from unknown materials, flows through the windows of the captain's bridge. The voice ship instruments measure a whole spectrum of various emissions. Sometimes the dull green is darkened by clouds of space dust or bent by gravitational waves. The object most closely resembles a portal, albeit what's passing through it cannot be clearly defined. We can observe the anomaly. Arcs of incandescent star gases bursting from the ring pierce the darkness of space, reflected by the surface of other celestial bodies in the system. At times, dark light waves bend the edges of the portal, but they are quickly restored thanks to the enigmatic flow in metal. Then, lashes of purple clouds, dissected by the threads of lightning, appears in the center of the ring. An unseen force prevents them from reaching the other side of the portal as the blocks of black stone become covered in purple-scarlet illumination. If the ring truly were a portal, it is not fit to serve as one any longer. Stellar heat and gravitational force forbid any vessel from passing through it. According to the ship's astropaths, the purple clouds are even more dangerous phenomenon, indicating that the powers of the warp are eager to flow out of the portal into real space. As if to highlight its deadliness, With the next wave of dark light, the portal throws out the shattered remains of an unidentified voice ship. I mean, if we send a team, they will probably die, right? But we do have the option, so let's see. Oh, ship components. Additional equipment in closer position allow the team to understand part of what's happening. The portal seems to resemble the gate devices used by the Eldari and Drukhari, only made of a different material. The metallic shine of the ring alternates with the darkness of a large block of stone, reminiscent of the material that makes up the famous Cadian pylons. Analysis of the wave signatures indicates that the construct once used parts of the webway. The Eldari system of pathways, however, in its current condition, the portal is not fit for transporting vessels. It is unstable and often begins unleashing dangerous cosmic objects. Instead of transports, the gate spews forth dark light waves and deadly breaths of incandescent gas, the latter taken from a star's photosphere. It is hard to believe that a civilization capable of creating a device as powerful as this one could have undergone such decline. So, it's just lore stuff. But since we're almost done with the game, I'm kind of going through everything, you know? Just milking the shit out of the ending. Okay. Under thin clouds, as if shredded by a careless blade, sway vast steppes carpeted by pale gold, deadwood. The rogue trader's attentive eye distinguishes a region among the endless grasses that does not fit into the general landscape. The scouts from the shuttle see signs of intelligent life. Judging by the trampled soil and tent frames, someone made camp here. Distant silhouettes form a tangle of paths and obstacles. A maze. The outer walls are supplemented by a multitude of spikes and blades, and decorated with the scraps of leather and withered, crucified prisoners. It does not take an expert in xenoculture to reason that Drukhari have been here. Okay. Burn away all traces of Xeno presence, or send out a squad of scouts to search the camp. As they comb over the tracks left around the Drukhari structures, the scouts find items of Imperium make, blood-soaked clothes, and a Kula patch, and a data slate cracked in half. Gothic letters and the symbol of the Inquisition are frozen on its bottom half. The sentence fragments make up part of an exploration report. The servants of von Valancius find a rough illustration of the camp in the pocket of a filthy coat. On it are marked 2 locations. The first is shown with a sword and highlights the area where the items were found. The other is a skull and points to a patch of ground by the maze. Find out what is in the place marked by the skull. The scouts carefully inspect every piece of land in the marked area and discover a camouflaged pit studded by strong, thin needles. In a niche sunk into the wall of the trap glitters a volumetric flask with an ugly creature that looks like several brains stuck together. Analyze the nature of the creature. The rogue trader's people recognize the grotesque figure as a Drukhari Medusa, a parasite capable of registering emotions and transferring them to its masters. This thing was left here as the equivalent of a pict recorder, collecting the suffering of the Drukhari's victims. You can destroy the abomination, get some consumables. The flask explodes into sharpened fragments under a salvo from the scouts' rifles. The remaining liquid is collecting to several test tubes to be examined in the ship's laboratory and put to good use, or destroyed on the orders of the rogue trader. Okay. Let's continue exploring. Deep prints belonging to landing legs and a ladder are visible in the grass behind the maze. The relative positions of the recesses correspond to the design of an Imperial shuttle. When the Von Valencia scouts approach, they find a wax seal bearing the symbol of the Inquisition in a monogram formed from the letters XC. An officer voices the proposition that the initials correspond to the name Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcazar. So he's been here. Search for the other objects in the grass. Nice. Hello. This would be great if you have Marazashi, whatever you want to call him. A segment of the dry grass a few meters in front of the prints from the ladder has been cut as if scythed. Among the chopped stems lies a piece of Drakari trophy, a flap of dark skin stretched out by thin chains. Most of it is covered by a tattoo, a silhouette of storm or tornado, and a black symbol composed of curved lines and sharp shapes. Okay, let's burn it all. The predatory structures do not burn easily, and it takes a long time for them to heat up. When the flames finally gather strength, turquoise explosions flash amidst the yellow-orange waves. Whatever was down there was dangerous. Alright. We have also ship combat coming up. Lord Captain, there was an incident on the flight deck. The planet we discovered is located at the coordinates of interest to the Honorable Ulfar, Angel of the Emperor. The moment he learned about this, he chose to abandon ship. Why? He ordered a shuttle to be provided to him and directed it to the world before us. We do not know where exactly he wishes to go, but the ogres have tracked the shuttle to its landing site. Why have I not been notified of his actions right away? He forbade it. And the enforcers did not dare to defy an angel of the Emperor. I am very sorry. I see. I apologize for having to bring this troubling news, Lord Captain. Well, let's chase after him then. Scouting party led by the rogue trader himself makes planetfall in the frozen world. The shuttle on which Ulfar Thunderlung departed the ship has been designated the starting point for the search. Said shuttle is found at the landing site intact and undamaged. Let's examine the shuttle itself. The machine spirit is fine form and is ready to ascend from the world's surface. No clues have been found as to Ulfar Thunderlung's intended destination, but a keen-eyed scout sights several disturbed snowdrifts that may indicate the route taken by the Spetswolf. Okay, let's follow the trail. The group bravely ventures onward into the realm of blinding white and crackling frost. The sky is soon blanketed with snow clouds that block out the stars' light. The wind, howling like a pack of hungry spirits, sweeps away all tracks and whips up a furious storm. The path is full of dangers. A treacherous crevice hidden under the snow's crust suddenly opens wide underneath the enforcer's feet. It is only the vigilance of the Lord Captain and his companions who hear the telltale crack in time that saves the soldiers from certain death. A few hours later, the expedition comes to a plateau. Rising up ahead is the dark hull of an Imperial trading vessel that once landed on the world's surface. You can look for signs of Ulfar. Fresh tracks in the snow leading to the ship's airlocks indicate that he was here, and recently. However, he was not alone. The scouts find strange dips in the snowdrifts surrounding the ship. It seems that someone was watching the ship from a position buried in the snow. around the same time that Ulfar Thunderlung was searching it. The escalating storm sweeps over the group as if trying to bury them in darkness, snow, and obliterating whirlwinds. We can investigate the ship. The ship is identified as the Revelation granted, the merchant commandeered by the baleful Howl on footfall. No signs of struggle or other misfortune are found aboard. Only some useful cargo in the hold. Contrary to expectations, no crew members are found, dead or alive. The ship has been abandoned and its fuel systems are non-functional. The Prometheum has frozen solid and ruptured the tanks and pipes. Sent scouts to survey the area. The enforcers search the area and return without finding anything of interest. Not all of them return, in fact. Several seem to have lost their way and failed to make it back to the ship. We can contact the ship in orbit. The raging storm makes it impossible to establish a Vox link with the rogue trader's vessel, leaving the expedition stranded without aid, but probably not for long. The officers on the bridge should have immediately dispatched help as soon as contact with the scouting party was lost. We could take shelter in the ship until the storm calms down, I guess. The bone-weary soldiers welcome the chance to rest. Watchful sentries stand guard while their more fortunate comrades stuff themselves with the now frozen rations of the ship's vanished crew. The temperature inexorably plummets. Many members of the expedition suffer from frostbite, while others lose their fortitude and morale. One of the sentries delivers an anxious report to the Lord Captain. He has seen a massive shadow in the darkness, and it is definitely not Ulfar Thunderlung. We can light a brighter fire. Barrels of frozen promethium are dragged outside. The frozen fuel reluctantly succumbs to the heat of the thermal cutters, and fires kindle around the ship. Even this is not enough to dispel the snowy darkness, but the people are something up by the additional light and warmth. A messenger rushes to the Lord Captain to report that one of the sentries is missing. Large tracks have been found near the sentry's post, as well as a few drops of blood. Double the sentries. Despite the reinforcements, the sentries cannot conceal their fear. The unknown has robbed them of their courage. A terrible rumbling cuts through the roar of the storm and the clash and clamor of battle. It is followed by a furious, agonized scream. Something is picking us up, or killing us one by one. Send the party toward the sounds of battle as soon as possible. Tied together with ropes and bolstering each other with battle cries, the enforcers rush toward the battle in human chains. Unable to see anything ahead in the darkness and swirling snow, they blindly stride toward the source of the battle's monstrous thunder. We can't pull any of this off. Send the soldiers forward, trusting in their tactical skill and lessons taught to them by the Lord Captain. Okay, 60%. Nice. The enemy is concealed by the snow and the darkness, forcing the soldiers to fire in all directions, by some miracle not hitting each other. First one fighter, then another, vanishes with a desperate shriek, dragged off by the unknown enemy into the roiling depths of the storm. But the enforcers' courage and stubbornness win out. Boldly pushing forward, they drive the mysterious enemy from the battlefield into a retreat. Ulfar is found, lying in the blood-soaked snow. Oh shit. His body covered in grievous wounds, but the wolf continues to cling to life. With great care, he is borne to the shuttles and, wasting no time, brought back to the ship for urgent treatment. Fuck, dude. What the hell were you thinking? Can we talk to him on the ship, or how do we... We need you. Inquire the Boxmaster about Ulfar's health. Okay. It should be this person. Lord Captain, the ship informed me of our imminent meeting. How is Ulfar? Has he regained consciousness? He is feeling better, Lord Captain. The ship's Shurijan was amazed at his resilience. The esteemed Lord Ulfar is currently convalescing in his chambers. Have a servant escort me to Ulfar's quarters. I skipped on this quest on my first playthrough. It's cool that he has his own chambers, huh? Whoa. Look at that. Is this how you sleep? Ulfar's dark figure towers over you. His head is lowered, his hair hanging in a curtain across his face. His fair skin is cross-hatched with broad crimson scars held together by metal staples and covered with black spiked runes for physical healing. Could an ordinary mortal have survived such injuries? Unlikely. With a twitch of his fingers, Ulfar bids the two servants and attendants to step away, so as not to intrude on your conversation. They silently retreat. Ait Vatir, I must thank you for saving me. I had a difficult battle. I'm glad you survived, Ulfar. I always survive. Okay. Why did you decide to go to that world alone? After a few moments of silence, Ulfar says quietly, so I did not have to bury your body in the snow. Ait Vatir. It is not out of arrogance that the wolves do not follow mortals into our affairs, but because the burden of those deeds is heavy, and they reek of death. Just consider what kind of a threat you could have been facing. In a place where an entire pack of Astartes has disappeared. If I had risked you for the sake of fulfilling my vows, would that have been worthy of me? Well, we fight together. Do not forget that I am your Ait Vatir. Ulfar heaves a sigh, which seems to hang in the air between you. You and I are different. Your way is to rule and build, while mine is to destroy and chase down prey. Such is the All-Father's plan, and in that plan my death on the battlefield is an expected and joyous event, while your death would be premature, sorrowful, and damaging to many other lives. True, he kind of thought this through, looks like. Did you find any trace of your brothers? The vessel I found, the revelation granted, that was them. Inside there were signs that wolf scouts leave for their brothers. The baleful howl landed the ship on the surface and left, and the rest of the crew disappeared. I followed my brother's trail until an unknown foe blocked my path, and battle ensued. What foe is capable of besting you in combat? Your wounds were truly terrifying. An evil spirit. It attacked me from behind and wounded me instantly. Ulfar points to a particular gruesome scar on his chest. The strike clearly intended for one of the space wolf's two hearts. The wound gives off a strong medicinal smell, but it is not one we recognize. Probably a Fenrisian bomb brewed by Ulfar himself. Your healers would faint after one whiff of such a potion. The snow covered my eyes and I could only make out a shadow, but it moved fast and it was strong. If the Allfather's gift had not knitted my ribs into a hard carapace, that blow would have been my last. The wolf says these words with a chilling nonchalance. I can still feel its claws in my chest, frost-shredding flesh. Wounds left by spirits are dangerous. They create a spiritual link between your body and its pernicious mind. The only way to heal such mutilations is to brew a potion from the blood spilt by their incorporeal bodies. Your pack seems to have led an entire ship's crew to their deaths. The wolf shrugged sadly. Do not blame us for what we are. Death always clings to the warriors of the Allfather, and we are fated for no deeds other than those accomplished in the jaws of Morkai. Okay, I see. Uldar nods in agreement, his face grim. What will you do now? I must return. My foe awaits me, and it will be dishonorable to retreat from this battle, but I will need help in the fighting. Well, definitely you can count on me. I know, Aedvatir. Ulfar nods to the servants, and in low voices they begin a guttural prayer. Shadows leap across the walls, twisting together in a majestic and savage dance. In the flickering candlelight, the sacred rite is performed. The angel of the Emperor is clothed in the armor of unwavering faith in his wrath. Okay. Let's get this done. See what kind of enemy bested our mighty Ulfar. With a full squad, should be easy. Hopefully. Okay, I assume we just get back on the planet. And now it's a dungeon. Okay. We will go as the usual party. I think we don't need to make any changes.
Let us walk this path.